Hi guys, it's Essentially Meg, and welcome back to my channel. So when I'm traveling, I like to be put together, but also comfy. And you know what? The second one outweighs the first. I like to be comfy more than anything. But of course, you don't want to look like a slob when you're walking around the airport. People treat you nicer when you look nicer. So I have a few tips on how I usually dress whenever I'm about to go on a flight or go travel somewhere. And you know, it's always cold on airplanes and in airports. So I like to think in layers, because if I'm too cold, then I can put another one on. If I'm too hot, I can take something off, and those extra layers can double as pillows. So I'm going to take you from the ground up, all of my layers, and maybe give you a few extra tips along the way. So at the bottom, let's start with footwear. I like to wear comfortable, slip on and off kind of shoes. So either my tennis shoes that I've tied a little bit loosely, or just some slip on and off kind of athletic style shoes. Don't be that person that's walking around in flip-flops and eventually takes your shoes off on the plane and then you have bare feet on the plane. That is gross and you don't want to be that person. I always do tennis shoes, or like I said, some slip-ons with socks, because then if I do feel like I want to take my shoes off, then I can, because my feet are still covered by socks. And moving up, we get to the pants. I like to go with leggings or yoga pants, especially if they have pockets, because then you can put your phone into your pocket. You're not digging through your backpack or your purse every time. It's quick, easy access, and they're super comfy. They are made for comfort. I actually just bought these about a couple of weeks ago, and I bought them in like 5 different colors because I like them so much. But I got these off of Amazon, and I love them because they're long enough, they're comfy, they've got a high waistband, and they've got a few pockets. Next, I can mention the unmentionables. We can talk about a little bit about underwear. So I would say, if you're a girl, especially busty, wear a comfy kind of sports bra. Don't wear anything that you're just gonna feel like you're getting dug into by underwires or anything like that. Just wear something comfy. And I always pack an extra pair of socks and an extra pair of underwear, at least, in my carry-on bag, because you never know what might happen with your checked bag. And at least this way you'll have something to feel fresher in whenever you land. Now, the first layer on top, I like to go with a t-shirt or a tank top, just so that I have one final layer that I can, take off my sweater or whatever, and I still can cool off. Whenever I get hot, I can get motion sick, and that's really not good on an airplane. So if it comes down to it, I can take off my sweater and I can have a tank top underneath. Next layer up would be a light sweater or a tunic. I like these because, especially if they're a little oversized, then they do give you a little bit of coverage around the waist and the hip area. If it's a nice upper light layer, then again, it's layers. It's taking something off, putting something on, making the right comfort for you. And if it is oversized, then that means that you can sit down and slouch as most comfortably as you want in those uncomfortable airport benches, and you're not going to worry about, oh no, my fudge is showing or something like that. You got your comfy outer oversized layers while still looking cute, because you've got a nice looking sweater on. And on top of this, I would put a jacket. I've got a couple of options here. I've got this one, which is an Amazon Basics packable jacket. So this is really nice because it packs up into a really, really tiny little cylinder, and you can throw that into the bottom of a backpack with no problem. It is quite warm, and I actually sprayed this with waterproofing spray. Usually people use it on boots, but it also works on jackets, and it worked great whenever I was in Alaska. But if you don't want the puffy jacket look, the other option would be kind of like a raincoat. I have this one that's a little bit fuzzy inside, so it's nice and warm, and it's just got that nice water slicking material. It's got a hood, which is important, and it's just a little on the longer side of a jacket, so I appreciate this one. It keeps me nice and warm. I think I got this from Costco a couple of years ago, but it is one of my favorite go-to jackets. And again, you don't have to wear this the whole time. If it is too warm, then take it off and either roll it up and put it in your bag, or you can tie it around your waist, or like I said, use it like a pillow whenever you're sitting in the airport chairs or on an airplane. And to quote my grandma, it's always better to have and not need than to need and not have. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to mask up. It's a really simple, easy thing. You can still hear me, everything's okay, and you wear it the entire time you're in the airport, through the airplane, out of the airport again. Once you're outside, good to go, take it off. But in order to keep yourself and everybody else as safe as possible around you, it's important to always have at least one of these on hand. And now I can get into the couple of tips. I always try to choose durable fabrics. Nothing that I would worry about if somebody dumped a little bit of coffee on me. I mean, that's an inconvenience, but at least it's not ruining something. So unfortunately, I'm not wearing my fuzzy white coat because this would get ruined. That jacket that I have, like I said, is kind of a water wicking material, so if something does get spilled on it, then it's not a big deal. You could just wipe off, but go for low maintenance fabrics. Another tip for those of us with the long hair, don't forget to bring hair ties. It is so important to be able to put your hair back instead of just getting it caught in your face, and you may want it down, but always good to have the option to put it back. If you're not packing in a whole extra outfit, at least pack an extra pair of socks and an extra pair of underwear, just in case. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know if your bag gets lost, you'll at least have that. And now we can get into a little bit of the don't do this. Don't wear loose, flowy fabrics, especially like long, loose skirts, because TSA needs to be able to clearly see not your body, but whether or not you have anything to hide. So if you're wearing something like leggings, where it's kind of pretty out in the open, you know, you're definitely not hiding anything, then you're less likely to get stopped. I actually did get stopped whenever I went through an airport back whenever I was first starting to fly, and I was wearing a long bohemian skirt just because I thought that it was really comfy, and unfortunately it meant that the x-ray machine wasn't providing enough comfort to the TSA, and they had to pull me over to the side and basically pat down my legs to make sure that I didn't have anything hiding in the many folds of my skirt. Also, don't wear excess jewelry. You'll notice that I'm not wearing any jewelry except for my normal rings, because jewelry can set off, especially certain types of metals will set off those metal detectors. Then you're gonna have to remember to take it off, and you're gonna have to remember to put it back on. Just forget that for now. You can pack it up, put it into your carry-on luggage, and then you can put it on after you get through security if you really wanna wear your jewelry while you're in the airport. But to be honest, just save it until you get to your destination. And I know I already talked about shoes, but wearing uncomfortable shoes can make your airport experience pretty unpleasant, especially if you have, say, a gate change at the last second and you have to run from one side of a concourse to the other. Trying to do that in heels or anything less comfortable than athletic shoes can become a problem. And the last thing, don't wear a big obnoxious hat. I think that ball caps are fine, but big floppy hats are not really a great thing to wear in an airport, because if you don't want to wear it, where the heck are you going to put it? Like, are you just going to carry it and then it ends up getting crushed by your arm, or you end up hitting people with it because you're walking around with a huge hat in your hands? It's better to just pack that away in your checked bag or something like that if you really want a big floppy hat. Go for something low maintenance, small. If it's winter, wear a sock cap and scarf. If it's summer, ball cap is just fine. I usually don't wear a hat whenever I'm flying, but to each their own. And a pro tip, look into TSA Precheck or Global Entry if you're interested in flying on a more regular basis. Global Entry is great for people who are planning on traveling internationally more than like once or twice a year, and TSA Precheck works for all domestic flights within the United States. It's great because you get through a faster security line, you don't have to take off your shoes whenever you're going through security, and you don't have to take your electronics out of your bag. Everything stays in the bag, everybody moves through very quickly because you've actually gone through a background check with TSA, and therefore are lower risk, and you just get to go through nice and easy. It's not terribly expensive. It's
$85.
But over the course of, I think it's 5 years that it's good for, I think that that's a pretty good value. Time saved. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it got a little bit of value out of it. If you did, then please hit like and subscribe down below for more videos about travel, wedding planning, and anything else that I want to put out there. And the question of the day is, do you have any tips for people who haven't flown before or have just started to travel? I actually didn't fly for the first time until I was in college, and I could tell you I was nervous. I'll get into more tips about traveling in future videos, and I'm curious to see if you guys have any tips that you'd be willing to share. Leave your answers in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye. Me, bubble. Yes, you too, Quincy. I know. I know. Hey, buddy. You being the boy? Minerva, come here. No, Minerva. You want to come in too, huh? I know. You done?